Hey, welcome back to Grumpy Acres. You know, one thing I've learned over the last year and a half is things don't always go as what you planned. It just, if you watch your channel any amount of time, you'll know that's just a fact of life. You know, if you like topics about homesteading and prepping and everything related to that, this is the place for you. We've got a pretty good virtual community going on here, and we'd really like you to join. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Things don't go like we planned. The garden. This is a garden update. We're following a different path this year. You know, last year we had a full-on conventional garden. Let me show you what it looks like this year so far. I started working on it, and we decided we were going to put ground cloth down and do that. That's what the garden looks like right now. It's mid-June, or I'm sorry, mid-May. And April, May, June, yeah, May. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. I need to get in here, get these panels pulled and get them moved. Look at the size of that horseradish. I took out everything that's competing with it, and look how large that thing. Look at the size of these leaves. Look at the size of those leaves. Is that awesome? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I love me some horseradish. But that's what the garden looks like right now. Oh, sorry about the sun. That's what the garden looks like right now. I'm gonna work on it. You know, good thing about where we live now is we can get things in all the way up until late June, or not late June, but early June, and everything will still grow. So what are we doing for the garden? Well, first off, we're doing the driveway asparagus. This is our asparagus plants this year. I've done videos about that, so I'm not going to go into that detail. But we're getting lots of asparagus. We're getting more asparagus than we can eat. In fact, a lot of it is going into the freeze dryer because I did not know this. Did you know that asparagus is probably one of the best vegetables somebody with cancer could eat? Yeah, I was talking to a guy at Midwest Preparedness Festival a couple weeks ago. He's got cancer, and he was telling me all about the nutritional value of asparagus. You know, so another different path we're taking is we've got the grow tables going in here. Now that's not very much, and we're learning how to do this. I guess that's some sort of vining pea or spinach. I'm not sure what that is, but there's lettuce in there. We'll have to ask Angela about that. You know, so we're starting to utilize that. We got it up, and there's a learning curve there that I did not realize. We ended up killing a whole bunch of stuff this spring because when it was 40-50 degrees outside, it was getting 100 degrees in there because it was so efficient. And here's something else we're doing. Now we had container garden potatoes before, but we are doing this, and they are coming in great. You know, in fact, I need to get out here this afternoon after I get home and put more dirt in these. But these are coming in good. You know, so we're perfecting our container gardening thing. And look at this. These are doing great too. These are muscadine grapes, and they're just wild. The previous owners had planted them. There's all kinds of fruit on there. Last year we didn't get anything off of them. There was no fruit on them whatsoever, and so those are doing well, and we're gonna hopefully be able to get some off of them. Sorry about the sun again. And here's something else we're doing. So we talked about this on our live the other day. So this is going to be squash and pumpkins. So we're going to put these in here. And here's another bed that I made this weekend. There's grapes, more grapes that are growing there. So I've got to put a couple of T-posts in and run some wires across. And we're going to try to cultivate these and get them growing. And all I did was I took some old hedge posts, cut them in a square, dropped them in. I put some grass down on the bottom, and then I put about it's probably 3 yards of compost out of the compost pile there. But that's what I'm going to do. The compost, as you can see, is really good. Look at that, really good. And it's going to be great. But that's what I'm going to use to fill these up, and then I'll top it off with some topsoil from the back of the property. Now we had a late freeze. It wasn't a hard freeze, but it was enough that it caused all the blossoms on all the fruit trees to fall off. And I was really worried that we were not going to get any fruit this year, but my worries are not well founded. Look at that. We've got we've got all kinds of fruit coming in on this tree. That tree, and there's not as many on this tree, but they're there. Yeah, see, there's one right there. You know, so the pears are coming in really good. Dolly, get out of the compost pile. And then there, I just pulled a bunch of compost out of the hay pen. So there's the new compost pile. Hopefully in 3-4 weeks I'll have a big pile of good compost. Yeah, and as we're walking over here, check this tree out. So this, let me pull back so you can see it. This is a white peach tree. Oh, look at that. See that? You see that crane flying off in the distance? That's cool. He's down by the pond. But this is a white peach tree, and when we moved in here, there were no leaves on it. It was still early in the season, and there were no leaves on it. And we got like 2 fruits off of this last year, 2 peaches. But this year, look at this. I just on this one branch, I count 1, 2, 3, 5. I count about 10 fruit just on that one branch alone. This is what happens, folks. If you get an old piece of property, man, don't cut out all those trees that you want to, because I wanted to cut that thing out. Seriously, I wanted it gone because I thought it was dead. But Angela said no, let's see what happens, and it came back, and it's coming back, and those white peaches, oh my gosh, those are some of the best peaches in the world. Now here's something else that we're doing. So I made these 2 beds, and I apologize, I did not do a how-to on this because I was using the skid loader and I was up and down, and it was going to take way too long. Plus the skid loader broke while I was working on them, so there was that. But these are drought-proof woody mounds. I did a video about using an old stock tank as a raised bed, and I'll put the link up where, right here? Is it going to be right there? I think it's going to be right there. I'll put the link up right there so you can go check it out. But all this is a variation on that theme. So instead of having a raised bed, what I did was I dug a trench. I did that one first, and you can see there's potatoes in it from the crop we got last year. Potatoes and a couple of blackberry stalks that I didn't want to take out, even though they were outside the patch. But anyway, so I dug a trench. It's about 1 foot deep and about 2 feet wide. And I went and got a bunch of wood, and I filled that trench up with wood, and then I backfilled it with all the dirt. Then I went down into the woods to my little topsoil stash, and I pulled topsoil out. And I covered it up, and then I went over to the hay pen, and I pulled about 3 yards worth of mulch and everything out of the hay pen and dropped it on top of it. So what that's going to do is, as that wood decomposes, it's going to act like a big giant sponge. It's going to soak up any moisture that's in the ground, and then later on, whenever it's hot and dry, it will release that water. The plants will be able to use them. Now this bed that's closest to us, I did the same thing, except instead of using wood in it, I used about 6 yards of hay and stuff out of the hay pen. Yeah. Hey, listen, this video is running a little long, so it's going to be about 15-16 minutes long. So I'm going to go ahead and break it up into 2 different videos. All right, so this is the end of part 1. And if you want to know what happens in the rest of the video, hit that notification bell so you get notified when it drops, because I'm going to drop it tomorrow. But I just want to break it up into smaller bite-sized pieces for you guys. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Most importantly, go live a life done free. See you tomorrow. Thanks, Milo.